All right, welcome back to Scott Godwin Studios. I'm glad to be here with you. Movementandmeaning.com, scottgodwin.net. I am happy to be here with you. I just want to take a couple of minutes today to tell you about my second book that just came out. I'm really excited about this. It's called Healthy Work, and I've got it right here. Putting the good back into work. I'm very proud of this book. And this book came about basically as a result of me writing and blogging about the labor and work situation in America. So the last couple years, we had a presidential election. There was a lot of political stuff about jobs, about the economy, about business, and so on. So what I did is I decided to combine two different topics: health and work. Two things that we normally don't think about, but it makes logical sense. It makes all the sense in the world. It's actually kind of amazing that we never put the two together. Healthy work. You're going to spend a majority of your life working, okay? So it makes sense that you would give it some deep thought. That's definitely me. I like to think about things. Okay, why am I doing this? What does this mean? And the reason I wrote this book is so that you could start doing that. So you could start having a healthy working life. You may have a job that you hate. You may have a job that's not healthy, too stressful, or not stressful enough, not challenging enough. You may not even have a job. You may have all sorts of problems related to your career, related to work. What I did is I went in and I studied what was going on in business and in the market, the culture, dug into philosophy. This book has really been in the back of my mind for 10, 15 years, but it's a culmination of a lot of reading and research and work that I've done. And it also relates to my other book, Movement and Meaning, which I've got a copy of it right here. This book, my first book, Movement and Meaning, is about the effect of exercise on mental health. And in this book, I explored the topic of mental illness, mental health. The psychology of work was part of the story. And part of the story is that the world is changing so quickly. Our psyche, our ability to process what's happening culturally and with technology and with work, we're not able to do that. Okay, and so we saw this play out in the recent presidential election. You've got some people that want the government to step in and provide income and benefits for people. You've got some people that just want to say, to heck with everybody, every man fend for himself, and then most people are kind of in between. But regardless of where you're coming from on that, we have to acknowledge that it's a stressful time for work for a lot of people in America. Yes, there's a lot of wealth being created. Yes, the economy is doing well. But for a lot of people, depression is up, anxiety's up, suicide is up. Sort of middle America, working class America, even college graduates and millennials. Big problem with work. Big problem right now with work. I hear sad stories all the time about so and so can't get a job, or so and so hates their job, so on and so forth. I'm lucky. Well, I say I'm lucky. I am lucky. I'm blessed. God has blessed me with a great working life, but I've worked extremely hard for it, and I've really tried to apply principles of health to what I do with my work. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I will explore that in this book, and it's not a very long book. It's about 72 pages. It's something you can sit down and work through over a weekend. It's got some exercises at the end that you can do that'll forever change the way you look at your career, the way you look at work. And what I want you to really be thinking about as you read through the book is, how can I be healthy as a person, mind, body, and spirit, mentally, the way I'm thinking, am I challenging myself? And then physically, is my work environment physically healthy? people, the relationships I have at work, and then also spiritually. Is this work I believe in? Am I happy about the integrity of the company, the ethics, and so on? So healthy work looks at all of those things, and it really addresses the problems we're going through as a country. This is my answer to the problems we're going through in this country right now. Okay, we've got huge amounts of wealth inequality. We've got huge amounts of people not working. I mean, I think 50% of Americans have no savings. We've got some big, big problems. Most people hate their jobs. And I'm not here to bash, people, the 1% or anything like that, or talk about, redistributing money, or even to get into politics at all. This is not a political book. What this is for the average person sitting at home that wants to have a better working life. How can you do that? And that's what this book explores. Just briefly, I don't want to go through the entire book, but what this book does, as you can tell by the subtitle, putting the good back into work. The reason I chose that is we live in a very sort of status conscious society, meaning that everyone thinks they need to be driving a brand new Mercedes and, have a secretary or something. People come out of college and they expect that. Well, that's not going to happen for everyone, okay? So what I'm saying as the subtitle is important. That's the first chapter of the book. Work is a good thing. We live in a valueless society. People don't have values, or they don't value anything. Or to even value anything, you're going to get, that's politically incorrect. You can't do that. But what I'm saying, first of all, is that if you're working at all, I don't care if you're a janitor, or if you're a waiter, or if you work at a bowling alley, or you're a DJ, or you're a massage therapist, or you're a bank president. I don't really care. I look at all of those endeavors as being on the same moral plane of existence. I don't look up or down on anyone. I take every person, and I think we should all do this. We should take every person, if they're trying hard and doing the best they can, we should take that person as having a high level of working status. That is a good act. To go to work, to get up and go to work and do a good job, no matter what your job is a good thing. And then secondly, I build on that, okay? The book goes through, okay, what is healthy work? What is the purpose of work in general? Are we creating value in our work? Are we doing ethical work? How is our work meaningful? And that can work in some surprising ways. You don't have to find yourself, which is kind of cheesy anyway, through your work, but you can connect your work to sort of meaningful things. And this idea that everyone has to get up and absolutely love their job is silly. I mean, I work in what would be considered a cool profession in health and fitness and wellness, and I get to work in an exercise and health and fitness and nutrition environment, and I don't get up every single day just loving it. And most of the time I do really enjoy it and I do love it. But it's a myth to say you're always going to want to get up at 5 a.m. and work hard all day. That's just silly. So I go through some of that. I go through how to find the values, your core values that are most important to you. That way you can bring them into your working life. Okay? So this is a very philosophical work. It will forever change your opinion of both other people working and your own work. And it'll change your work strategy. And you'll feel good. Because there's more to work than how much money you're making. Although that is important, and there are actually good tips in here on how to increase and challenge yourself to further your career and advance your career. So I go through some of that. And I've been able to do that in my working life. And then lastly, I go through the environment of a healthy workplace. What does that involve? What is a healthy working environment? And, I love this quote that I put at the beginning of the book by R.J. Snell, a philosopher. He says that man, the subject, is the purpose of work, not the objects it brings about. Okay, man, the subject, is the purpose of work, not the objects it brings about. So what does that mean? That basically means that you are the most important thing about your work. Okay? Yes, you want to create a good product, create a good service, but what kind of person are you deep down? What are your values? What is your character? Do you work hard? Do you do a good job? Are you ethical in your work? Are you working too much or not enough? Are you not working hard enough? You are the subject of work, okay? The other things are a byproduct, what you're creating, whether you're making rocking chairs or you're a physical therapist or a surgeon. Those things are important, your products, but you are the most important thing when it comes to work, okay? Work is not what it used to be. That's the first line on the back of the book that introduces the book. In our modern world, work isn't valued and respected like it should be. Sadly, work seems to have lost much of its inherent meaning. The decline of work is a tragedy because, to put it simply, work is a good and noble thing. There was a time when and if a person was working, he or she was likely happy, proud, and fulfilled. Work can be a noble and joyful pursuit, and it's about much more than just making money. It's time to put the good back into work. Healthy work, putting the good back into work, applies timeless and cutting edge principles of healthy living to work so the reader can learn to create health, meaning, and fulfillment through work. If you're underemployed, unemployed, working but not motivated, or want to be as healthy as you can while working, then this is the book for you. It's been called Chicken Soup for the Soul meets Harvard Business School, and it offers practical action steps for positive change, including how to manage work stress, create a healthy work environment, set and attain reasonable work goals. Drawing on years of philosophical and scientific research, personal experience, and applicable case studies, Healthy Work is a timely manifesto and how-to manual by me on how to create a healthy and joyful working life in a stressful and rapidly changing economy and culture. Put simply, this book could change your working life for the better, for the good. Oh, excuse me. Working life for the better, for good. Okay, so that's Healthy Work. Pick up a copy on Amazon. If you enjoy the book, let me know. And if you want me to come and speak about it, I'm happy to come and speak to your organization. I went from someone who thought it could never happen to someone who made it happen. Well, what am I talking about? I'm talking about someone who, I went door to door when I was 14 asking people if I could mow their yard, to now I have a great business, great clients, have a good income, have a stable business, stable career. I do what I love, and I want you to do that too. I want you to love your work, and I want it to be good work. Stay in touch, and I'll talk to you soon.